For the last 2 years, my body hasn't really felt like mine. And over the last few months, I've made some huge improvements and have started to regain control of my health again. So this 30 days beef only challenge was a way for me to continue to improve and connect to my own body. It was not a weight loss challenge, discipline flex, or kind of ideological carnivore battle. This was a healing and kind of recalibration phase for me. This was after long-term nervous system stress, high levels of digestive dysfunction, including a parasite infection, chronic tone and movement compensation, as well as just like a loss of trust in my own body and how I responded to stress and or exercise. And then also after some Christmas binge eating, with it being the beginning of the year. So I wasn't broken, but clearly wasn't operating at an optimized system. It was quite compromised, and I have been feeling like that for quite a while. And this beef only experiment wasn't the solution. It was just one part of the environment that is allowing me and my body to actually heal. So some of the physical benefits before I go into what I actually really want to talk about. These are all fairly typical that you hear of carnivore stories. So lead my list is improved recovery. Absolutely. Way less gas. Dramatically reduced hunger. Way more stable energy throughout the day. Improved mood, sense of calm. Way fewer cravings. Generally just less inflammation you could feel. More consistent and predictable bowel movements, much smaller, way less mass as well. Less back pain and fascial tightness. Overall, just reduced chronic tightness. That's something I definitely felt. My skin cleared up. I definitely had a whole lot of acne after the Christmas season. Improved sleep quality. Way more vivid dreams. Went lucid a couple times, and I just feel like I sleep way better. One thing I will say is that I probably should have transitioned a little bit slower, going from high carb Christmas straight into beef only and not having a transition at all. I think that would have erased some of the adaptive symptoms and keto flu, that kind of stuff. But that's okay. I went through it. Wasn't that bad. I was eating quite carnivore before that, so I knew my body could handle it this time round. Those things are all fine and dandy and were much appreciated, and pretty much why I wanted to do this kind of reset challenge type thing. But the more important benefits were something else entirely that I didn't expect. They had more to do with kind of the insights and the overall feelings that I had in this last month. So I've only eaten beef, whether that's ground beef or steak or a roast, for the last 30 days. It's February 2nd now. I'm kind of 3 days out. But I just want to talk about kind of 3 of the main benefits that I have felt. Number 1 being nervous system regulation. I can tell that there is absolute noise reduction. I had a sense of calm just rule over me, instead of kind of being busy and on guard and there always being this like nervous system hum in the background. Like there's always just a buzzing, like there's that tinnitus that's in your ear. That just disappeared, and it was just quite relaxing, and I felt like that level of noise that you just learn to live with, it's just gone. And once it's gone, you're like, oh, this is how life is actually meant to be, and how much better it is without that noise. So any bodily signal that I kind of received, it wasn't threatening, it was just information. It put me in a state where I could actually feel like myself, and that was so welcoming. Another point on that is that flow states seem to happen so much easier and more often. They're just things that I would just get absorbed into an activity and it'd be like, oh, whoa, how much time has passed? Sweet, that was awesome. And just like didn't notice it until afterwards. So meditation was easier. Noticed that just felt way easier to lock in, so that kind of fits in with that flow state. Much better connection with my body. I felt really good between meals, so the mood and energy wasn't dependent on food at all. It was just this stable energy. Just felt really good the whole time. And without having that noise of like having to worry about eating food or feeling a little tired or this and that, it just freed up so much mental space, which is, again, that noise just disappeared. I just didn't need to think about that anymore. So it resulted in a much calmer state of being. I just felt so good. It was a calm that felt earned, and a calm that I felt like I wanted to protect and keep, a calm that felt like home and what true baseline should feel like, not this kind of up and down chasing highs and lows or energy spikes and whatever, food trying to fix you or whatever. And nope, it was just one state that you could just, so constant, so predictable, and just lovely to be in comparison to how I felt in years prior. So so the food wasn't necessarily the one thing that's fixing me. It's just that removing all that other noise allowed my nervous system to simply settle. Point number 2, psychological shifts. So I kind of had this opinion before, but really noticing that you just see food as nutrients and energy and things that we need to take in to survive and nothing more. So I have no cravings, no desire to eat snacks, not because it was like a strict discipline, but because I knew that I didn't need it and it wasn't going to be helpful. It wasn't going to protect that state of calm that I had. Quickly got to the point where it didn't feel like restriction or deprivation. It started to feel like protection. It's like protecting this new baseline state of calm. So even when I was walking through the grocery store about a week in, I wasn't even thinking about wanting to eat the snacks that are on either side of the aisle. I was just like, no, I'm going to go straight to the back, straight to the meat section and see what I can get there. And there was no like fight in my head. It was just like, this is where I need to go, this is what I want to do, this is how I feel, and this is why I'm doing it. And it really made me realize that feeling like eating these carbs, not necessarily all carbs, but especially the snacks and the treats, are absolutely an addiction. And I think that is fairly well established that sugar is very similar to a bunch of other addictive substances. And so it just made me realize that that's very practical, and I really felt that addiction state that I was in comparison to now when I'm not in that state. So that trade-off became very clear for me. Certain foods, may taste good, but they may pull me out of this state and increase the noise and that urgency and that kind of busyness in my nervous system that I used to think was normal. So now the question was not, oh, can I eat this? It's like, is this worth giving up how I feel? And usually the answer would be no, it's not. So it's not that I'm demonizing food in any way, it's just trying to protect something that is now so obviously more important in how I feel and my health, as opposed to just having a snack or eating the way that we are told we should eat. It feels like I am choosing health, and not just digestive health, but also like just mental health, and not necessarily kicking me out of a depression or anything, but just feel calm and better, and just life is just overall improved. And for the first time in 2 years, I feel like I have control over my health, and I'm not really willing to give that up just for some sugar, a taste of sugar. And then the other realization was that understanding that health is going to take some time to come back, and that it's not really linear. So some days my back is going to hurt a little bit more, some days are going to be a bit more tired or feel a little bit emotionally flat, and that it's not regression. It is adaptation, and we as humans adapt quite well when given the environment, the correct environment to do so. So yeah, I'm just gaining an appreciation for the process and to be patient in my own healing, because I have been quite unwell and dealing with that potential parasite for almost 2 years, which was quite a challenge. And just knowing, not having that control and now having it back, and realizing that you're sick for 2 years, it's not going to be fixed in a 30-day experiment, and there's going to be those ups and downs, and to remember to zoom out and look back and be like, hey, this is where you were a year ago, look at you now. You're absolutely making progress, and you should be happy about that. So that has helped me trust my body a little bit more, and really let it have patience in myself and my body that I am getting better. Which brings me to my third point, which is an increased trust in my body. Like I said, unwell for 2 years, analyzed every single symptom, and it took a lot of mental effort and was very emotionally exhausting because I had no idea what was going on. So much noise, so many cravings, the energy crashes, constant hunger, trying to create rules and battling willpower while I was fighting this absolute desire and all these cravings, and just had this emotional flatness that didn't seem to have a cause. I was just like sad and unhappy for no reason. So I was constantly fighting like what was a real signal and what was just kind of a red herring. Didn't know what signals to trust and which ones to fight. But after this month, or even halfway through the month, I felt like I didn't have to fight anymore. I was just like, oh, I'm hungry. Okay, I'll eat. Oh, I'll wake up. Oh, I'm not that hungry. Maybe I'll wait till noon to eat. And then I got to noon. I was like, yeah, okay, it's time to eat. I could trust that if I was tired, then I'm like, okay, maybe I'll take a quick little rest. Or it's like, yeah, I didn't sleep that well. It's not like, oh, I just need to eat a little bit of food and then I'll be fine. Because I knew that I didn't need to eat every few hours, even if I missed a meal or two, or I only eat twice a day. I'm only eating twice a day. So if I were to miss my breakfast or my first meal, I know if I pushed it back a couple hours, my energy was going to be stable and I'd be fine, as opposed to before, it would have been like, okay, I'm tired, I need to eat. This hunger is like really distracting, and that's pretty much entirely gone, which is awesome. A definite reduce reliance on food and more trust in my body's capability to do things without that constant feeling, which I pretty much just said. Just those they're giving more clear signals and they're coming without distortion, and that's a very calming realization as well. So, and the problem was not lack of discipline or willpower. It just means that my system no longer hears those things. It just doesn't need them, and it's not even a factor anymore. So now that noise is actually gone, I can actually listen to my body and give it what it needs without any mental conflict. And that's just an incredibly freeing feeling, and it makes me feel very connected to myself. It's kind of like, our body's actually designed to function this way, and I feel like I'm actually finding a homeostasis at this moment, which is awesome. So, in conclusion, eating this has become a way for me to protect this state of mind and this state of being. I don't really want to lose this and how I feel at the moment for just a snack. Especially because I have been unwell for 2 years. I really want to keep this healing and this progress going. I honestly feel like I'm aging backwards at this moment, and that's not just because of carnivore, this beef-only experiment. It's also because of Cerule. It's also because of my training that I started, and because I really haven't felt good in my life as far as like physicality and body tightness, and then been dealing with the parasite allegedly for 2 years. So it feels like an absolute change, and that things are really finally starting to heal and everything's lining up, that the things I'm doing now are what's going to help me live a healthy long life, and gives me that perception that I am aging backwards when really I am not. I'm just very relieved that I'm no longer thinking about what's wrong with me and how can I fix it, and now I'm just focusing on how I can best support my own body to keep this healing trend going. That's it for this one. Hope you learned a little bit and are interested in this way of life, as it's helped me a lot. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.